You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. Her voice is holding up better than I am post-COVID, but we're still alive here. After 16 years and 2,000 episodes, we're bringing you the Chris Voss Show for another 16 years, and it's probably going to be, at the pace we go right now, it's probably going to be like another 50,000 episodes. Anyway, refer the show to your family, friends, or relatives, or else don't make me pull over the car and come back over there. The podcast car is hard to stop and start, and it usually requires a lot of juice in the morning, namely coffee. So anyway, guys, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places that we have on the internet. Today we have an amazing young lady on the show with us. Today we're going to be talking to her about health, holistic wellness, and vitality, all of which I have none of, and she's going to help me understand why I need some of it in my life, maybe so I won't get COVID again. See what I say up with there, Kimberly? Kimberly Verbeke. Verbeke is on the show with us today. We're going to be talking to her about everything that she knows so that I don't get COVID again. Kimberly is your go-to guide for holistic wellness and vitality. She's a naturopathic practitioner, health coach, and dedicated athlete. She's on a mission to empower you to reclaim your health and live your life at your highest level. And I need a lot of reclamation after COVID. She has expertise in regenerative medicine and a focus on aging well, and she's here to help you unlock your body's natural ability to heal and thrive. Whether you're navigating toxicity issues or seeking to optimize your health as you age or dying of COVID like I am, she is committed to guiding you in every step of the way. Her journey isn't just about professional expertise, it's personal too. Through her own health challenges, she has gained a deeper understanding of the journey to wellness, fueling her passion to support others on their path to vitality. Welcome to the show, Kimberly.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you as well. Give us your .coms. How can people find you on the interwebs there?
Yeah, so avita-wellness.com is my website, and all the good info's there.
All the good info's there. You've probably got a lot of great ideas on how I can maybe revitalize myself. Let's get into it. Give us a 30,000 overview of. I'm pushing on you like you're going to solve COVID. It's not right, Chris. Stop doing that to guests. Stop setting them up for failure. I don't think anybody. I think someone would have fixed COVID by now if it was possible. So anyway, give us a 30,000 overview of what you do there at your website and how you help people.
Yeah, so I have a clinic in Boerne, Texas. I work with people both in person and remotely to help them regain their health or to age better. I think it's something most of us are interested in. We start getting a couple years, little mileage on the tires, and we're like, okay, this isn't turning how I thought it would. You know, my goal is to help people have a really high quality of life as they age. And if you're sick, help you get better.
A strong life starts with you. Sounds like when Smokey the Bear used to accuse me on TV of not preventing forest fires enough. Starts with you, and I was like, me? Why me? What did I do wrong? So you help your clients get optimal energy, health, and well-being. Goodbye fatigue, illness, and chronic pain. It's time to live the life you deserve. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got down this road, this journey, maybe the influences from childhood, starting your own business, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So grew up in a very healthy home. I thought it was so boring and not cool that we didn't have, processed food in our house growing up.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. And then I realized how lucky I was a little bit later, but started out working in geriatrics. I worked in a nursing home and rehab. And I wanted to be a doctor, a medical doctor. And I was giving medications and shots, had to take a bunch of pharmacology classes, learn about drug interaction. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. Maybe this isn't what I want to do. And it was just such an eye-opening experience at a young age to see, we're great at emergency medicine here in the US, but boy, our health care is sick care. Right? People aren't healthy. If you look at the statistics, they're kind of staggering. The average man retires around 62. From 62 to death, an average couple spends about $300,000 on healthcare.
Holy crap.
Seriously? Yeah. Yeah. Not healthier, though. That's like being sick. And it sucks. Being sick sucks, as you well know.
Yeah. I do this to me.
You know, my goal is to help people get healthy, stay healthy, and live a long life, but with a high quality, because you know, most of us aren't interested in hanging around if somebody has to feed us or push us in a wheelchair or change our diaper. It's just, you know, not what I envision for my future.
Yeah, it's not fun. My sister has MS, and she's had the really bad, there's 2 versions, and she's had the bad disability one. And now she has dementia in a care center, and I can't imagine living that way. And you know, it's tough, but that's extraordinary. I've kind of always wondered what that figure is when people kind of hit that age where everything starts, you know, breaking down from all that, you know, and partying that you did when you were young. Was that just me, or was that everyone else?
It was just you.
It was just me. I lived in Vegas for 20 years. Give me a break. So, give me a break, people. They're like, yeah, he did live in Vegas for 20 years. Anyway, what are some of the services that you offer on Avito Wellness and Aesthetics website there?
So we do a whole bunch of different things. We do a lot of IV therapy, all sorts of stuff, like probably some, you know, non-typical things that you'd be like, what's that? You know, all of it geared around helping people heal, feel great, prolong quality of life, enhance your longevity. We do some really fun things. Like I have a longevity protocol that I am so stoked about. It's actually not my protocol. There's a doctor in Russia that spent over 40 years clinically studying something called peptide bioregulators, and they are an epigenetic switch, right? They cross the cellular and nuclear membrane, which means they can bind to the DNA, if you know, without getting too technical, and they can retread the tires, so to speak. A doctor here in the US that studied under him and worked with him did a really great job of doing a simple explanation. And he said, these regulators repair the repair systems in our body. It's easy enough to understand, right?
Yeah.
Really just kind of a cool, you know, high level view. They're science-backed longevity boost, targeted organ regeneration. They're natural, they're safe. They help us age without declining. And there's proven results. I test with True Diagnostic tests at the beginning of the year, and at the end of the year, it's a 12-month protocol. And we look at DNA methylation and telomere length, and you can actually see what it's doing for you.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's really important. You know, the regenerative stuff in your body, liver, kidneys, you know, those are helpful from what I hear.
they sometimes.
Sometimes. Depends on how it's working out, but depends on if you're with her dumping lots of vodka in it like I did for 20 years. But yeah, I'm surprised I'm still around after all the partying and fun that I had. I had a lot of fun, but now I'm 56 and my body's going, yeah, remember that fun you had? We have a bill for you.
Right? Yeah.
And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt your wallet. It's going to hurt your butt, and it's going to hurt everything. Everything is going to hurt. It's the new thing. And I'm just like, wow. I just can't wait. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, you know, peeing 10 times a night. I mean, who don't you miss those days? I don't know about you. But
who doesn't want to get up all night to go to the bathroom?
Oh yeah, lose less sleep. You can't get back to sleep when you go back to bed. Yeah, I remember the days when I could sleep for 8 hours straight without getting up, and you're just like, I'd kill for that to come back. And I've been doing a lot of murdering, but it still hasn't fixed it. Anyway, there's people knocking at the door. We'll ignore them for now. And that's a joke. People don't write me. So you have all these different things you do in your services. You have the wellness, the aesthetics, health planning, longevity protocol. That's always good. You know, it's kind of comes down to quality of life, doesn't it? I mean,
Absolutely.
Things are going to go wrong as we age. And so really it's kind of trying to preserve a quality of life that, you know, still makes it so we want to, I don't know, go to Vegas every week and do, I don't know, we'll use that as callback, Joe.
It's not something I promote on my website.
Okay, it's not on the website then. Don't be. You're gonna start getting calls. How does this work now? Anyway, so you do these services. Why did you pick this business? How long did you started it?
So I have been at the location I'm at now for about 4 years. I've been working with people for about 9 years. Mm-hmm. I picked it partly based on personal experience. I had some health stuff happen and was so freaking frustrated because I couldn't seem to get help. And I realized I was going to have to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
And through a lot of digging, found a doctor that helped me. But a lot of the pieces I had to put together myself. And it made me so aware that there's, just kind of a shortage of practitioners that are really tuned into functional medicine and treat the body as one whole unit instead of these individual pieces. Because guess what? It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
I think it was in 2016. I was probably close to 400 pounds. I was miserable. I was drinking 10 to 15 Mountain Dews a day with vodka at night, probably with a Mountain Dew mixer, which is just, I look back on it, I'm just like, that is the grossest thing. And it was gross then too. But, if you're at a mixer, you're at a mixer, man. That's how it works. And so I would take and eat. I was eating out all the time. Horrible diet, yada, yada, yada. And then I read, and I just kind of reached a breaking point. I was like, I'm tired of feeling like shit all the time. And it's probably this anyway, don't do, folks. That's a joke. And I was like, I just want to stop. And fortunately, I got lucky, and Penn Jillette of the Magic Duo in Vegas had written a book called Presto. And part of his compadre was a guy that I was later introduced to called Cray Ray, or Ray Cronize, but Cray Ray is probably more appropriate. He's a great guy, but he's crazy, but he can help you lose weight. And so I immediately started changing my life based upon some of the book. And part of it was a mental game that I had to do. I had to change a lot of my idiot rules about food and eating and, just games that I would play with my mind to substantiate eating horribly, drinking horribly, and being awful to my own body. And I started losing 2 to 3 pounds a day, sometimes 4. Like I was 400 pounds, so it was very easy to start losing. Yeah. Even now, I can lose 2 pounds. I think I lost 2 pounds yesterday, the day before. We're calling that the COVID diet, though.
Do you recommend it?
No, not at all. Not at all. But I mean, if you lose one of your kidneys from COVID, that's 3 pounds right there. I don't know, whatever. But I started eating salads. I cut out the Mountain Dew. I didn't, unfortunately, cut out the vodka until 2020. But I just started eating right and being holistic. Listen to my body. I started eating. I basically became veganese. I call it, because if I call it anything else, then vegans in their 150 different variations start writing the show. So I called it veganese. I just started eating salads and broccoli and trying to figure out how to season it. And I started learning that if you season it right, it's actually pretty tasty. Right? You just, you can't just, I can eat broccoli straight now. And so I just learned that eating right and being healthy, and I'm like, wow, I feel better. I lost 100 pounds in 4 months. I pissed off everybody on Facebook because I was using it as a daily accountability thing and posting my weight loss. And women are like, how are you losing 3 to 4 pounds a day? Don't you have any hormones? And I'm like, no, I'm a man. Anyway. There's a lot of women that were really angry.
Women don't appreciate that.
Yeah, they don't.
Rubbing it in our faces.
I wasn't trying to rub it in his face. I was just using it as accountability, because I'm like, because I would be like, okay, I want to go eat like burgers and fries and milkshakes and since we're using that as a callback joke on the show, but I don't want to, but I know that I got to post my weight tomorrow on Facebook. So I use it as an accountability group. See what I was doing there? And I inspired a lot of other people. There's a lot of people that still to this day will be like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that time you did that. And I was like, yeah. And, they inspire people to lose weight. Awesome. So yeah, I learned that eating better. And then 2020, my body was just like, hey, 3 beers will give you a hangover. Have fun with that for 3 days. And I started feeling the bloating that would come from, you add water when you drink to offset the dehydration, because your body's like, is he going to keep drinking? And,
right.
I started learning that a couple hours on Friday night, throwing back some booze, turned into 3 days of just bloating, pain, and then you'd have to you let out all that water you put on, and I just drag. And my body, the message from my body is really clear. If you want to keep doing this bullshit, fuck you. We're not doing it with you. And so we're just going to make it really miserable for you. And so I just quit. I just quit drinking. I love it. It's kind of, the only thing that sucks about it is people think I had a problem. They're like, "Oh, were you one of those people who had a problem?" I'm like, no, not really. I just got tired of feeling like shit. But learning to listen to your body and all that stuff is important. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you don't drink in the US, you're like, what's wrong? People are like, what's wrong with you? Oh, were you in AA?
Yeah. It's worse when I'm in Utah because they all think I'm Mormon. And I'm like, I'm not Mormon. I just no. And when you tell them your reasoning, you're like, I just got tired of feeling like shit. They just look at you and be like, yeah, you had a problem. You probably had the police, wearing one of those things where they said you have to change or you're going to
breathalyzer.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah, start your car.
But no, I can totally validate the message of living holistically, listening to your body, health planning. I started looking at the end game of my life. 2020, one of the things you talk about on your website or you have there is longevity protocol. And, when you're immortal as a young person, it's only for a limited time and you feel like, I'm going to live forever and everything's fine. And then, you get 40 and stuff starts falling off your body. You're like, hey, we need that arm. Can we sew that back on? And
totally.
Yeah. And so I just started looking at it. And then when COVID hit, this is the reason I quit alcohol too, on top of that. When COVID hit, I realized that all the materialistic shit and stuff I was doing in life was like, who cares? Like, who do I have left in my life? The people I love in my life can be taken in a second. So my priorities really changed. And then I had this awakening that I realized that I was in the third or fourth quarter of my life. My dad lived to 74, 75. I'm doing much better than he is health-wise at my stage. But, there's no guarantees. But it kind of put a benchmark for me of where his marker was. And I'm like, wow, I'm 53 at the time, 52 at the time in 2020. I'm 56 now. I'm in the last quarter or the third quarter ending of my life, and so I'm at a fuck around time, and it's time to kind of plan this end game. Bill Belichick does with the Patriots. At the end when they're trying to come back and stuff.
Hail Mary.
Yeah, trying to Hail Mary pass it at the end. Having a longevity plan and all that good stuff is really important because it gets weird at the end.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it doesn't, but it definitely. From what I've seen, it gets real weird when people, I've got a younger lady that comes to see me, and she came in one day and I feel terrible. And I'm like, all right, what's going on? And she's, how you told me to treat my body like a temple? I've been treating it more like a frat house.
Sounds like what I was doing.
I was dying. I'm like, okay, at least you're honest.
I treated mine like a meth lab. Only I never did meth. Don't do meth, people. Keep your teeth.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of don't do that on the show today. Tell us about the longevity protocol that you have. Looks like it does some different things to improve organ function.
It does.
Health, et cetera.
I started out, so those are the peptide bioregulators, and I started out kind of using them onesie twosie. I had a lady come to see me that had blood cancer, but she had been put on some medication that damaged her kidneys. Oh, wow. And she was told that there was nothing that could be done. Her kidneys were just damaged. Wow. And she said, do you know of anything that might help? And I was like, I do. Let's give this a shot. And long story short, I mean, I was wildly surprised in a very short amount of time. Her nephrologist ordered new labs. She went to see him and he was like, what's going on? And she's, I don't know. You tell me. You told me my kidneys couldn't get any better. And he's, I don't have anything that'll do this. And I've seen some really cool stuff. I mean, our bodies are capable of healing if they have the raw materials. Yep. And yeah, I mean, these bioregulators help go in and regenerate the organs, different systems of the body, the endocrine system, vascular system. And there's, science to back up, for every year that people take them, they typically see about a 7-year decrease in their biological age. So that's pretty, pretty powerful stuff when you think there's not a lot of things that you see that with.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It is amazing how the body heals. Like even, I started testosterone treatment in November. And so they run all sorts of tests on me to make sure that's working right. But, they're testing all my other vitals. And I remember the first time they came back with the test, I was like dreading it because I'm like the 20 years of vodka, right? And food and being heavily overweight. And they were like, yeah, you're amazingly healthy. I was like, are you sure you got the test on the right person? Somebody switched that with somebody else. My cholesterol's fine. Everything's fine. I'm like Keith Richards of Rolling Stones or something, evidently.
I know, isn't he wild?
Yeah. I mean, for a guy who's been around for 2,000 years, I mean, he was
totally, yeah.
He was in Jesus's band. Most people don't know that. Yeah. He was hanging out with them. He was the guy who was really into the water and the wine crap.
I agree.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it can make all the difference. Tuning in your body, listening to it. I wish I'd taken better care of my body. I wish I'd taken better care of the ride, paid more attention. For so many years, I think I was like a lot of people, so many decades, I was like a lot of people where you're just working hard, you're being an entrepreneur, you're trying to make money, you're trying to live your life, trying to probably provide for family and kids. And you're kind of like, the health thing, I can put that off later. I'll go to the gym later. I'll go, eat healthier later. I got some room to move there. I got a few decades. And then all of a sudden, it's knock, knock, knock. Hey, your 50s are here.
Here's the bill.
Yeah, here's the bill. And you're like, hey, can we keep putting that off? And they're like, nope, it's due now. You had plenty of time to pay, and collection is here.
Yeah.
And we would like a pound of flesh or a couple pounds. So
you're not wrong. You are not wrong. I see this often.
So please, people, take care of yourself at a younger age. Now, it looks like here on the website, you guys also have some things to help people with Lyme disease. I know we've had a lot of Lyme disease docs on the show. Yeah. That's always a hell of a thing to have to deal with because you never know what's coming at you. It's almost like MS sometimes.
It can give people some really wild symptoms, right? They'll come in and they'll be like, I've got these weird things going on. And I'm, usually you can put it together and figure out that it's a solid chance it's Lyme. There's Lyme that's, part of the country we're in. We see a lot of people with mold toxicity. We see, just all sorts of environmental toxins, things that make people just feel really crappy and they don't know what it is, right? They don't have any idea. And then you start digging deeper, start asking questions, kind of figure out what direction you think it's going, do some testing and get some answers for them so they know. And I think half of the time people are just like so grateful to have an answer because they're like, I've been told for the last 5 years, every time I go to my doctor, they're like, yeah, you're fine. I can send you for some SSRIs, but you're depressed. They're like, I'm not depressed. I don't feel good. So that's fun.
So do people have to go to your clinic there in Texas, or can they tele-doc with you? How does that work?
It depends on what they want to do, right? If they have some pretty gnarly stuff going on, IV therapy is so powerful. You can just make a massive amount of traction with someone by using things intravenously. But I have a lot of people that I work with remotely. The longevity protocol I can do all remotely, so that's pretty cool. I've got a mix of both. I have people that are referred to me from other people that have come see me. I just had a guy in from Oregon. I have a lady from Florida, and they'll come in and spend 2 or 3 weeks and do some intensive IV therapy and then go back and we'll do everything else remotely for the rest of their treatment plan.
Oh, wow. Lots of IV therapy. Now I noticed there's an application on the website. So when people want to know more or handshake with you, find out how they can, if it's fit and what services, probably for whatever their particular ailment is, they can fill out that form and get more information.
They can, or they can just book in on my calendar if they want to have a conversation and ask questions. Sometimes people are like, I just have questions. I want to see if this is the right fit for me. And I'm like, let's talk.
Yeah. Would you recommend that, I said earlier about, take care of yourself when you're younger people. Don't be like Chris Voss.
That's a true statement.
Don't wait till you never be like Chris Voss. Don't wait till you're on your deathbed and parts are falling off and you're like, where's this bleeding coming from? It's been here for a week. That sort of thing. Don't do that. Take care of yourself early. If I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would be like, please don't put on weight. Don't eat that. Don't put that in your mouth. That Taco Bell and McDonald's and I was a young entrepreneur and I was living my life 18 hours a day, burning the thing at both end of the candles, whatever, multiple companies. And I started eating poorly, eating fast food. And I was just like, I'll make up for it later. Now I go to the gym almost daily. I actually enjoy the gym. I mean, the biggest thing I missed during COVID was going to the gym. Like it was just insufferable for me.
Yeah.
And my muscles actually kind of hurt. They'll be like, hey, we're atrophying, dummy.
Right.
To the gym. Seriously, my muscles will be like, hey, man, you missed the gym. Like, what the hell? Go. And so now I feel so much better. I go to the gym. I feel like $1 million when I come out of there. Sometimes a little beat up, but, I still feel really good. I stand taller. My shoulders are spread, and I just kind of feel more confident and more like a human being, and sometimes I will go in there, looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I'm just like crawling in the door. And they're like, welcome back, Mr. Voss. The massage chairs are in the back, and they'll get you patched up. Go sit in those for about 30 minutes and then go out and start lifting. But yeah, eating right, holistic foods, healthy stuff, live foods, now everything I buy is from local farms here in Utah.
I love it.
So my food is pretty good. I still go out and eat a little bad every now and then, but I try
moderation.
I try to keep it to one a day or every other day. But I intermittent fast. Intermittent fasting is a big thing for me. Live on coffee. No, I did a sniff there. That was funny. That's the COVID people. What else have we talked about services and stuff you offer on your website to your clients?
I do just some one-off stuff, but my goal is always to get people to the next level of health. So I do a lot of 6 and 12 month plans with people to help them get traction,
Stay on traction.
Absolutely. Because I always tell them, look, this work is only as good as you sticking with it. Like it's not a diet. You're changing the way you're eating for the rest of your life. If you're viewing it as a diet, good luck. You're going to be back in this boat in a couple of years. Getting people to understand, like, our bodies were made to move. Go move. And when people tell me they don't have time, I'm like, you got to make time, figure it out. I had somebody tell me the other day, she's like, it's really hard. My kids are young. I'm like, put your kids on their bikes and just go a mile with them. It's not that hard, but you're going to be teaching them good habits for life. You're teaching them that it's important to take care of yourself. You're getting them some movement. They've been sitting in school all day. Like I believe we all have time. We make time for the things that are important to us. And I know for me, like, it's kind of a joke, but I have a lot of people that come to see me regularly. Like I have a lot of older people that come in regularly for IVs and things. And they know, like, my mornings are for working out and getting it done, because sometimes the rest of the day gets crazy and I can't take care of other people if I'm not healthy. Mm-hmm. And it's not just me, it's everyone. People will say, it's really important to me to be healthy for my family. Great. Go move your body. That's part of it, Oh
yeah.
So
totally.
You got to prioritize that stuff.
And eating well, all that sort of good stuff is so important. It's just such a thing that you just have to do. And live foods, the nutrients that are in them, and they just make all the difference. So as we go out, tell people how they can onboard with you, reach out on your show, or reach out to your program, .coms, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so my website is Avita, and that's AV as in Victor, ITA, wellness.com. You can find me on Instagram under Kimberly Verbeke Wellness. Those are probably the two easiest places to get a hold of me. You can book right in for an appointment through my website. Yeah, I'm always happy to answer questions, and if I'm not right for you, happy to point you in the right direction. I'm all about people living a high quality life, and that starts with us taking responsibility for our own health.
Awesome sauce. Definitely. Do it now, people. Please don't be like Chris Voss. Thank you very much for coming on the show, Kimberly. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Chris. I appreciate it.
And thanks for my audience for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.